right, I'm back. Shore Show Radio, Seaside Heights edition, live from Seaside Heights. Nice day, as I said before. If you're in Jersey City, head on down. The traffic light coming down. You'll be down here in that hour, 15, hour and a half. You will not regret the day. It is really nice here, and it'll get fairly warm. The humidity is kind of high, but you're down the shore. You want some decent humidity, and you want some decent warm weather. And if you're gonna go on the beach, you got a nice breeze coming off the ocean, so you're in good shape there. Everything is opening up. All the gates are going up. The Beachcomber is open. Lucky Leo's is open. Lucky Leo's Sweet Shop's open. Spicy Cantina, Coin Castle, JR's, Casino Pier. All the rides are getting prepped. So it is ready for a day of action down here. The Carousel House is open with the carousel inside. It all recently refurbished. Did a nice job. Did a good job. Took a long time to get it done. All the horses, all the rides, all the mechanisms, everything is completely rebuilt. It's like a brand new carousel house and carousel ride. So you're all set that way. Plenty of parking. And if you're coming down, you want to stay over tonight, for overnight, you got the motels here. You can get a room for $80. Everybody's got vacancies. So there are a lot of opportunities here. Let me get to exit 82. If you ever want to know what's going on in Seaside Heights, go to exit 82. And that'll tell you everything you need to know about here. But let's take a look at some of the events before we get into the news of the day. I'm going to exit at 82 as we speak. Today, September the 27th, you got apple decorating at Lucky Leo's. That starts at 11 a.m. So it's going to go from 11 a.m. to 12:30. So you can get here if you leave now from JC or Point South. I come from Jersey City. That's why I mentioned Jersey City. You got Together We Shine at Paint with a Purpose at the studio. The studio at 619 Boulevard. At the gallery, I should call it. I call everything studios. It's an art gallery there. You got a bunch of events this weekend going on in Seaside Heights. You got some art exhibits in the gallery also. You got Sunflowers and Yoga at the gallery, 619. That's again what I just mentioned. A lot of art representation from the local artists. You got Dog Royalty Days. I got a kick at this. All year long, signs everywhere. No dogs on the boardwalk. Don't bring a dog on the boardwalk. As soon as you come into town by the entrance here where we got the big carousel, horse, big sign there. No dogs allowed on the boardwalk, ever. But not this weekend. This weekend you can bring your dog. You got Dog Royalty Days. You got an Oktoberfest going on at Lucky Leo's, an Oktoberfest party from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. I tell you, Lucky Leo's, he always had something going on the boardwalk, that organization. Now, we lost Lucky about 3 years ago. Amazing guy. I interviewed him numerous times on the Shore Show television version. A guy seen the Hindenburg disaster. I always said the story before. His father ran an auto repair gas station, and as a kid, Lucky Leo was sitting out there, probably sipping a Coke. And he's looking, there's the Hindenburg, look at that big blip, and boom, the humanity happened. And he got to witness that. How many people get to witness history like that? The only thing I can compare that to is watching 9/11 24 years ago. So you got Lucky Leo's Oktoberfest VIP party. You got Pups and Pints. Pups and Pints at the Casino Pier. Bring your pup, have a pint. You got a few liquor places there at the Casino Pier. And that's going on from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. So bring your dog. You and your dogs have a couple drinks together. You got Dog Day Afternoon, and that is sponsored, I think, by Tito's Vodka. And that is also it's at Jimbo's. This is at Jimbo's Dog Day Afternoon. So bring your dog. You got some Tito's specials and giveaways. So you got a lot going on. And on Sunday, you got another Dog Day Afternoon tomorrow, so you can stay open, bring your dog. You got a lot going on this weekend. You got Dog Day Afternoon tomorrow from 2 to 6 at Jimbo's. And next week, you got a Seaside Truck Show going on. You got Alpacas coming here next week. Alpacas at Lucky Leo's, of course, Lucky Leo's. You got Broadway Day. Lucky Leo's Broadway Day next weekend, October the 5th. You got a lot going on. But like I said, you want to know what's going on in Seaside Heights, what events are going on, go to exit82.com. Tells you everything you know and what's going on in Seaside Heights. In the news, what's in the news? Pat, I'll tell you what's in the news. The governor's race, it's finally turned into the kind of elections we expect here in New Jersey. Down and dirty, yep, that's a Jersey election. Mudslinging, yep, that's a Jersey election. And, it's unfortunate it always happens that way, but it's unfortunate it does happen. There's only so much we're interested in the facts. Eventually, the mudslinging starts. And what happened here, Mikey Sherrill, somebody did a request, basically an Oprah, for her military records, and they were released to a Republican operative who was close to a journalist, whatever the case is. How they're trying to backtrack on it, or if there's any backtracking. The information is out, and it turns out Mikey Sherrill was involved in a cheating scandal when she was in the Navy, a Navy cadet, and it was kind of sealed records with the military, but you can request records, and they were released. And right now, Mikey Sherrill's campaign, they're all complaining that it's just Donald Trump in the back of the green. Actually, it's not. It is simply somebody didn't do what they were supposed to do at the National Archives there for the military records, and they released the records unredacted, so all the information is out there. And Mikey Sherrill is, of course, quite pissed off about this. In all her commercials with her flying a helicopter and she's wearing her, military garb. She never mentioned that she couldn't walk with her graduating class because of disciplinary actions. And there was a cheating scandal back in 1994. Something like 80% of the students had the answers to the test, and Mikey Sherrill apparently knew something about it, and she refused to cooperate, or as we would call it, snitching or finking here in New Jersey. And she graduated, and she served in the military with honors, but she had this cheating scandal in the closet. Now it's out of the closet, and she's quite pissed about it, and rightfully so. Now there's calls for her to release all her military records, so to get all the truth out. The woman has served quite a while. There are some issues in Congress. She just did an interview recently, a couple of 3 weeks ago, where she didn't know how her family came into the wealth of $7 million during her time as a Congress rep. Her husband handled the investing, and I think they were in military defense stocks. They did quite well. What she told the interviewer, she wasn't aware or didn't know exactly how she became wealthy. That's a tough one to understand, but your husband's handling the finances while she was in Washington doing her congressional duties. Now you got the cheating scandal, so now there's a lot of questions as to how honest Mikey Sherrill is. And again, she's blaming everybody from Trump to Jack Citarelli. Jack Citarelli's camp said, listen, we had nothing to do with this. We didn't request it. We had nothing to do with this. And I'm going to assume they're being truthful there. But I think the best thing for Mikey Sherrill right now is to just sit down, do an interview with whatever reporter you're happy with, and explain exactly what occurred here. Get in front of the issue. If you can, release the records if you want to, unless there's more there. Turns out her husband was also involved in it. In some case, he was suing the military over the investigation. So there's probably a lot of fire where we're seeing the smoke right now. And this on top of the debate that they recently just had, where Jack Citarelli is basically pulled even now with Mikey Sherrill. And this is really the first time since Mikey Sherrill has announced her run for governor that she is not in the lead. She's in a dead heat with Jack Citarelli. And I guess you could attribute it to a bump from the debate. But I think a lot has to do with the reality of what New Jersey is and how expensive it is. And Jack Citarelli is pounding away on that, where I think Mikey Sherrill's campaign, where I'm going to fight Donald Trump tooth and nail, you elect me as governor, I'll fight Donald Trump. We're interested in getting the cost of New Jersey down. Blaming Donald Trump for the expense of New Jersey. The guy's only been back in office 8 months. I don't think he had a hand in that. And I think most of us realize that. A lot of these political commercials, they almost think you're stupid. She's blaming, they're calling Jack Citarelli high tax Jack. Jack hasn't voted on anything tax related in probably 16 years. He had nothing to do with that. The electrical charges we're paying now, the electrical bills. Jack had nothing to do with closing 6 generating plants and stopping 2 others from coming online. He had nothing to do with that. That's all in Trenton over the last 8 years. There was an ideology about converting over to green energy. Well, listen, fine, you want to convert over to green energy. But I said in yesterday's show, run it parallel to the existing energy until you're certain that this can, replace the existing energy. No, we didn't do that. Yeah, we cut out the reliable energy generating and went with the pig in the poke there with the solar and the wind, and that didn't work out. So now we're stuck buying energy, and that's why the energy prices are so high. And the other thing Mikey Sherrill is saying, well, for day one, I'll put a freeze on energy costs. Well, you can't do that because they're private entities. And even Murphy said, you can't do that. And of course, he would have. Because once Trent realized that these electric bills are going to be so friggin' high come election day, they tried everything in their power to stop it. They were doing, hold it off, they were giving you some credits on your electric bill, that sort of thing. They knew this was going to be, the Democrats here in Trenton knew this was going to be one hell of a campaign issue. And that's coming home to roost. Citarelli's saying, he's going to reopen the generating plants. And again, reopen them, but do it with a real reason. You're just not going to commit to the old. Again, you want to look at solar and wind? Fine. Again, run it parallel until it's constant. It's a constant, reliable energy source. Then you can wean off the natural gas. But the thing is now, natural gas is burning so clean. We keep talking like we're in the 50s and the 40s here with the natural gas and the coal. And we keep dancing around nuclear. Even New York State is beginning to embrace nuclear. And they were following the same ridiculous ideology as we were following in New Jersey. Cuomo was doing that over there. He was closing plants. He wasn't given permission to hook up natural gas. In Jersey, we almost stopped hooking up natural gas in your house. You want to have everything electric. We are not generating electric, but we were going to mandate even more electric use. You wouldn't have had a gas stove. But, fortunately, wiser minds prevailed on that one. But it shows you how ridiculous we can be every so often here in New Jersey. And again, I have no problem with green energy. I don't think it's reliable. It's not the greatest example, but it is an example. My kids have solar lights all over the yard here. They probably have about 140 solar lights. Also, there's lights on the fences. There's lights on the steps. There's lights on the garage doors here. There's lights everywhere. There's little decorative mushrooms and globes out there, and there's a lot of solar lights here. There's lights on the gates, and they're nice when they're working, and they only work when there's sun. You have a non-sunny day, a lot of rain, it's pretty dark out in the yard here at the kids' house. Nice day, so you got a lot of sun today. You'll have a lot of solar lights working tonight. But unless you have sun, you're not going to have solar lights. Now, of course, the solar charges the batteries. But unless you have enough solar energy to charge those batteries full, the lights will come on. It'll only last a couple hours. So that's the problem. We need better battery storage, but the problem is that takes up a lot of space. These solar panels, the receptors that you would need, take up a lot of real estate. You know what's expensive in New Jersey? Real estate. So there's a lot of things to be considered. I don't see, again, I'm 68 years old. I don't want to say in my lifetime. My lifetime is short. I don't know in my kids or kids' lifetime if solar or wind will ever be a reliable source of energy. We know natural gas is. We know coal is. We know nuclear is. And I think when you get down to it, I think nuclear is the real option. Clean burning. We can maintain it again. Go back to acting like we're in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, 3 Mile Island, and that sort of thing. The science has just moved way forward on that, so I think it's relatively safe. I'm sure that solar light won't blow up on me. I bet the lithium batteries could blow up that the solar's charged, so anything's possible. But that is becoming a big issue in the race for mayor. Yeah, governor. We also have a race for mayor in Jersey City. I have a debate that I'm producing for NJCU College. University now, NJCU University, New Jersey City University. Let's get it right, Pat. That's why I got Jersey City in my mind. That is one of the big issues in this governor's race. It's energy. It's the cost here that we're running through in New Jersey. And those issues are coming home to roost. Now, you top that with what just happened with Mikey Sherrill, with the debate and the military records. Yeah, Mikey Sherrill, she's on the ropes now. Now she's got to fight off the. She hasn't been on the ropes. Now she's got to fight off the rope. But you have the other issues. The school funding is a huge issue in this governor's race, and we have to find a solution. Now, I just read that Mikey Sherrill's backing off on the forced mergers of school districts. Don't back off, Mikey. That we need. We don't need. I got to Google it. I thought there was 565 school districts. Somebody's saying there's like 590 school districts. That is way too many school districts. That's more than we have municipalities. So yes, we do have to do some forced mergers. As I said, been saying this for a couple of years. We have 21 counties, have 21 school districts. Mikey Sherrill was talking about forcing a merger, and Jack Siddeley was saying, well, I'm in favor of mergers. I just don't want to force it down anyone's throat. We need to merge because the school budgets and the school funding is ridiculous. You know, in Jersey City, where I come from, we have a school budget of over $1 billion. My old elementary school, per student, for a year, will cost like $154 million or $58 million a year. That's friggin' ridiculous. That's one school. You know, things are out of hand here. We just had a former president of the Jersey City Board of Education admit to taking bribes. He's going to jail. So I know we can cut some expenses in Jersey City, and I'm sure we can do the same thing across the state. But each one of these school districts needs 500, I'll say 565, it might be 590. Each one has payrolls, each one has pensions, each one has benefits. All that is involved, and you're paying that through your school taxes. And in many cases, in every municipality, the school taxes is the biggest part of your property tax bill. Municipal, school tax, the county. And there's a few other school taxes that in some other municipalities they throw in there also. That has to stop. We need to get a handle on the funding for schools. In Jersey City, it costs about $36,000, $37,000 a year to educate a student. In Tom's River, 60 miles away, it's like $18,000. And Tom's River is having problems. They were going to file for bankruptcy, and the state stepped in and said, no, you can't do that. Yeah, it's a sad situation when the school district is going to file for bankruptcy. There's a problem there when we do that. We need to find an equitable way of funding the schools, and there shouldn't be any difference in funding. It should be per student throughout the state. Like Union City, Brian Stack, he's also a state senator. He's the mayor of Union City and a state senator. He gets more in school funding than the city of Jersey City. And the city of Jersey City is like 5 times the size of Union City. There's something wrong here. When that's happening, there's inequities here. That has to be discussed and remedied. Tom's River shouldn't be facing bankruptcy. They shouldn't be selling their headquarters to plug a one-year budget gap, because there's going to be another budget gap next year. That is one of the first things on day one. They will stop the thing with putting a cap on energy costs day one. They're private entities, public service, JCP&L, who in Tom's River, Seaside Heights should be replaced by PDS&G, JCP&L. You're not going to do anything there. School, you can do something on day one. We have to find another way of funding these, a fair way of funding these. Abbott districts. Yeah, I teach studio production and radio production in my studio in North Bergen with high school kids. You take North Bergen High School. Everything they do in North Bergen, their school system is paid by the property owners. Across the way in Hoboken is an Abbott district where the state builds the schools for them. They get all this good funding because they're an Abbott district. Hoboken is an Abbott district. It's like the most expensive property in the state of New Jersey. If they're not the most expensive, then you just cross the street and then you're in Jersey City, which is also an Abbott district. That is also the highest price real estate in the state. Yeah, the highest price rents in Jersey City. $3,500 for a one bedroom. Yeah, we're talking affordable housing is like $3,000. That's not affordable, not at all. And a lot of that is driven, the expense, by property taxes. Of all of it's driven by property taxes. Jersey City just passed a budget, $750 million. You add that to the school budget of over $1 billion, then I think the county of Hudson comes in at $650 million. That's a lot of millions. That's a lot of millions with $1 billion in there. Just in Jersey City alone, that's $1.75 billion. You can't have affordable. So that has to be addressed. Biggest number there is the school. So we have to find a way of dealing with that. We have to find a way of making things more affordable and not hurting the property owners that you have now, not taking away from their investment. Somehow, if a house is worth $800,000, we pull something out of our hat. We reduce the value of that house to say $500,000. You just hurt somebody. So there's got to be a way of figuring out how we're going to do this. And building affordable housing. Yeah, I'm all in favor of affordable housing, but who are we building for? That's another question that's got to be answered. Who am I building the affordable housing for? In Jersey City, we keep talking, we got to build affordable housing. We need more density. We'll let you build this high-rise, and we'll give you another 30 floors on a high-rise if you put some affordable housing in there. Who am I building that affordable housing for? Not Jersey City people. Yeah, we're not moving uptown, up to the east side there from West Side Avenue going up to Journal Square. That's not Jersey City people moving in. And you go to Journal Square right now, there's got to be about 12 high-rises. I mean, 30, 40 stories up there. Jersey City people aren't moving in there. But we're building it. And they're getting various abatements, that sort of thing. What we aren't building up there? Schools. So when these high-rises are full, there's no place for those kids to go to school. Take Journal Square. You got number 11 school. You got down the hill number 23. You got 31 over on St. Paul's and the old St. John's. I think that's Infinity School now, charter school. And they're packed already. They've been packed for years, before we built the high-rises. So now where are these kids going to go to school? I don't know. That's why we develop in Jersey City without any foresight. We're not looking saying, well, kids are going to be involved. Where are the kids going to go to school? Not an issue. Not an issue until they're out on the street with their, the school books in their hand. Where am I going? Where's the bus going to take me? I don't know. But we keep developing that way. And we kind of create our own problems. But that's happening all throughout the state. Probably more exasperated in Jersey City because there's so much development going on. But that's where we are. So these are the issues that Mikey Sherrill and Jack Civillerelli got to face. And the thing, when you start putting ads on the news where, again, you're attacking Trump, constantly attacking Trump, constantly attacking Trump, constantly. For that matter, I'm going to probably get to it later in the show here, that it turns out those tariffs, they are working. Goldman Sachs was talking about that. Goldman Sachs did a story where the revenue was coming in, big revenue coming in from the tariffs, and it would even be better if you didn't have some tariff dodges. But, you can Google Goldman Sachs on that. So, as I said before with Trump, people love Trump, they hate Trump, whatever the case is, I need him to be successful. Because if he's successful, then we're all successful. If he's successful, the country's successful. I need the economy to get back to where it once was. I would be happy if it would get back to where it was when he was the president the first time around. Because I had money then. I have none. I have none now. So with Trump, blaming Trump for the expenses in New Jersey is ridiculous. First off, the Democrats have controlled New Jersey for the last, even more than the last 8 years, but you have complete control with the governor being a Democrat and the Assembly and the state Senate all Democrats. And before that, Chris Christie, he tried to walk across the aisle. He would cut deals with the Democrats. But the Democrats have been controlling New Jersey for a long, 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 long time. Now, you want to talk about who's at fault for the expense of New Jersey? Real easy to figure it out. Don't throw commercials at me saying it's Donald Trump and the big, beautiful bill. The big, beautiful bill didn't even kick in yet. So Mikey Sherrill and her ads, they aren't honest. They aren't honest. That's one of the other things I said a few weeks ago. We got to start having some honesty in the political advertising and the political commercials, because that's just not occurring here. We're just getting fed with lies and lies and lies. And getting back. Now I've been making a choice here. I'll be honest with you, I'm probably leaning Civillerelli right now. And I vote either way. I voted for Reagan. I voted for Clinton. I think Clinton, even with all the baggage with Bill Clinton, I think he was a great president. He had the economy right. He had the cost down. The expense, what our debt was, he had that down. Say what you had. Listen, he liked the ladies. That's obvious. Liked them to a point where he got himself kicked out of office. But the guy was successful. I don't need saints as the president. I don't need their halos on anybody. I just need a successful president. I don't care what you do when the day's over. That's your private life. You want to screw around with an intern, as long as you're both consensual, it's fine with me. You want to deal with your wife on that? Fine with me. Next day when you wake up, do the job of the people. Do the business of the people. Get the country running right, and you got to give it to Clinton. He did do that. So push to it, I'd probably say he's in my lifetime the best president we ever had. Probably Reagan in a two-hole. You can argue maybe Reagan 1, Clinton 2. Biden was a disaster. My God, I'm glad Jimmy Carter lived long enough to see that he was not the worst president in my lifetime. That he was supplemented by Biden. And now, the more, you got Carmelo's book coming out, Harris's book. Yeah, I don't know who was running the president, who was the president for the 4 years of Biden. Yeah, that's something that needs to be looked into. What the hell happened? Why are we covering it? Like I said yesterday on the show, it was like Weekend at Bernie's, just that the corpse was still breathing. Yeah, who was calling the shots? Who was programming the auto pen? And, these are things, again, you listen to some of the media, and they kind of dance around this. It was a disaster for 4 years with Biden. Now people get pissed at Trump right now. Well, Trump is doing something every day at least. Do you agree with it? Not all of it, no. Like the vaccines, I'm not 100% in favor of what Robert Kennedy Jr. is talking there with the vaccine. We eradicated polio and smallpox and all these other diseases. I think we need the vaccines. Ones that are proven and well vetted and researched. The COVID, for that matter, I was just picking up some prescriptions yesterday. I'm on a ton of meds here from the stent. I want to get my knees replaced. The more I want to get off medicines, they keep giving me more medicines. I'm getting medicines because some of the other medicines are bothering me. But I was just at the CVS and at Acme getting my meds, and both of them, would you like your flu shot? Yeah, you get a flu shot anyway. You got a shop right now. Maybe the cashier shoots you up with the flu shot. And they asked me, they had a whole list of shots they wanted to give me for pneumonia, shingles, flu, COVID. I'll probably get the flu shot. I didn't get it last year. I got to see what the effective rate is like 12%. I'm going to have to consider it. Unfortunately, I did get the flu last year, which started a whole chain reaction. My primary doctor, my elder at that time, I've seen him. Yeah, he got the flu. Why don't we go get a chest X-ray and make sure everything's okay? That led to, we should probably get a CAT scan because you're getting ready to do this knee surgery. And I'm like, okay, we'll get a CAT scan. CAT scan out abnormality. Turns out I had a blockage in one of my arteries. So we had to have that done. So I got a stent put in, and then I couldn't get the knees done. Now, they told me after 6 months you can get the knees done. I'm going to get the knees done. The orthopedics telling me, oh no, you got to be at least a year with that stent. So what the hell difference does it make whether I'm a year or 6, 7 months? Let's get this done. I can barely walk. I'm in constant pain. But when getting back to vaccines, I'll probably get the flu shot. I'm not getting the COVID. Yeah, I've already got 3 of those already. Yeah, I don't know if some of my problems here with the heart has anything to do with the COVID now. I don't know, but the COVID shots I got, I had 3 of them. And I still caught COVID. I still got COVID anyway. It wasn't bad, but I got the COVID anyway. I probably had it a few times, they were saying. I just walked through it. I'll get the flu shot. I got to research the other ones. This guy was rattling off at CVS. I'm like, oh, shit, no. How many of these shots you want to try to get me here? And it was like, yeah, you would have done it right then. Just sit over there. I'll just shoot you up. Let me think about this a little bit. But Monday I'm seeing an orthopedic. Friday I'm seeing my hematologist, going through my blood work again because I'm like a banana from the blood thinners they put me on. I don't want to get off the blood thinners. But my other doctor said this. They told me to be on the blood thinners for a year. This is my doctor telling me this. One of my doctors goes, I'm still on the blood thinners 5 years later. And I said, oh man, I don't want to be on the blood thinners anymore. So I looked at. I'm an active guy, and I work on my cars. I may do an oil change on my Lincoln today, and I'm up in there reaching in. I'm banging my arms into things, my hands into things. So when I come out, I got all these bruises. Then you want to go out and have dinner or something. You got these beat up hands and arms. I got to get off these blood thinners. But the vaccines with Robert Kennedy Jr. Not sure. I don't agree with what he's saying. I could see getting rid of the COVID one. The rest of them, I think I keep in place. The ones that we've had for the last 50, 60, 70 years, I keep those guys in place. The Tylenol situation with autism, I have a niece and a nephew that have autism. That's something that needs to be researched. But it turns out they're talking about 26 clinical studies on Tylenol, so there may be a connection. And supposedly in 2016, 2017, if you research with Tylenol, on a tweet they said not to take it if you're pregnant. So there's some real issues there with Tylenol and pregnancy and autism. But if you go with Trump, I think for the most part Trump's doing a decent job I think he's the guy that will get the economy going. But he's not the fault in New Jersey with these commercials we see. From Mikey Sherrill, I'll fight. And even a guy, man, Danny, in New York City, I'll fight Trump daily. Just get the friggin' cities working. Just get the state working. Mikey Sherrill wants to fight Donald Trump. Stay in Washington. You're closer. It's a lot easier to fight him in Washington than from Trenton. Trump isn't the issue right now. Interesting week at the UN for Trump. I got that on my notes. I'll get to that. I tell you what. Let's break for commercial. You'll listen to the Shore Show Radio, Seaside Heights edition, live here in Seaside Heights. We're going to break for commercial here on GGR. I'm Pat. I'll be right back.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its 2 newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights. Your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Pinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
All right, I'm back. Pat O'Melia here on Shore Show Radio, Seaside Heights edition. Live from Seaside Heights. Again, nice day. Good sky. Weather is good. So you're living well if you're coming down here today. You probably get close to the 80s today. It'd be a good day to be on the beach. I'm not sure how warm the water is. You stick your toe in there, but again, pay attention to the flag. Everything is open on the boardwalk. Everything right now is open. You're looking at it 10:45. The balloons are full, so you can go throw some darts at them balloons, spin the wheel, go see Dave Scott at the Coin Castle, win some candy. Everything's open. Beachcomb is ready. Pizzas are being cooked. A lot of pizza on the boardwalk. Best pizzas at the Beachcomber. I like the Marukas, but I like the beachcomber pizza better than that tomato pies they make. Marathon Pizza, Three Brothers from Italy Pizza. The Midway is open. You get your pepper steak, yeah, your sausage and peppers, your cheese steaks. What did I say? Pepper steaks? I'm thinking of Fortune Buffet. I'm probably going there tonight, Fortune Buffet. Pepper steaks. I'll have that there when I get there. But you have your cheese steaks, your sausage and peppers. You want your cannolis, you got that on the boardwalk. Zeppelin's, everything is set. So it's a taffy. You got the 3 candy places. You got Lucky Leo's, you got Bentley, Berkeley candy. You got the Sky Ride. You can fly right over the boardwalk. Take a view take a seagull view, you know what I mean? But there's much going on the boardwalk. And again, rather hang out on the boardwalk and get on Route 37. If you get sick of the boardwalk menu, you can go out. You got Burger King, you got Beige Castle, which is a White Castle with somebody they painted beige. You got Checkers, you got McDonald's, you got the diners, you got the bandwagon, you got Four Seasons on Fisher Boulevard. Further down, you got Town and Country. You got Wingstop. You got Kentucky Fried Chicken. You got all the fast food joints out on Route 37. My favorite is Fortune Buffet. It's about 7 miles off the boardwalk on St. Catherine Boulevard. Just go straight on Route 37. Don't make any turns until you have to. Go down Route 37 west. When you pass the Walmart, it's not going over to your right. You come to St. Catherine Boulevard, right across from the big RWJ, this brand new hospital they built. Take the jug handle there and go across Route 37. Make a right into the first driveway. You'll see Fortune Buffet at the end. You can't beat the price of Fortune Buffet. All you can eat for $16. And your first drink, you're getting a soda. You're getting a soda. I think the tea is free, or the water, of course, is free. But a soda, you pay $3, and then after that, all your sodas are free. So basically, you're out of there for like $19. All you can eat. Now, I mean, that's from salads to ice cream and everything in between. You like seafood? A ton of seafood at Fortune Buffet. From shrimps to crab legs to clams, lots of variations of shrimp, raw shrimps, breaded shrimps, cooked shrimps. You got a lot of shrimps. Chicken and broccoli, Chinese. You got lo mein, Chinese vegetables, the Chinese string beans, clam stuffing, white fish, all sorts of stuff. Chicken nuggets, chicken on a stick. Yeah, you name it. There's all sorts of food. Then you got the sushi bar. Then you got the hibachi. You got the ice cream station. You got the dessert station. Tons of dessert. You can't beat it for the price. The food is good. The service is good. Now you go up and get your own plates of food. But what you do, once you finish your plate, Amy and her gang will come by, take the plates, refill your soda or your water, whatever the case is. You will be very happy going to Fortune Buffet. And there's other places in that place also. There's a strip mall there. You got Pies on 37, big pizzeria there. You got the Yo Factor, frozen yogurt. You got the big marquee theater there. Nice theater. I've been there a few times. You got Jersey Mike's. Yeah, you got a lot of places. It's all food, basically. There's a salad. The place just makes salads in there. Who's just going for salads? But I guess there are people. Places in business. But the anchor is Fortune Buffet. You may have to wait about 15 minutes to get in there because that place does business. But it's definitely the best bang for your buck in Tom's River, Seaside Heights. So like I said, that's if you're getting tired of the cheesesteaks and the pizzas on the boardwalk. Take a ride out Route 37. And you got all the shopping things out there too. You got the Walmarts out there. You got Targets. And it's like, once you get over the bridge, it's like you're in a major city. Let's get back to what we're talking about. I was just reading here. There's some wrestling stuff coming by me. That the race for governor is coming down to affordability. And I could see that happening. That the major issue is affordability in New Jersey. And we were just talking about that. That's a big problem. I said a couple of weeks ago on the show, I don't know how a young couple does it now in New Jersey. How do you buy a house? You get married, you want to buy a house? Forget about it. You need $1 million. But not even the house. Across the street from my house in Jersey City, there's 2 and 3 family homes. They're selling one floor of the 2 and 3 family homes for $1 million, and they're selling. So forget about just buying a house for $1 million. You're lucky you can buy your apartment for $1 million in the Heights. Now, the Heights, in my opinion, is the best section of Jersey City. I like the heights. I look at my own house, the 3-family house there. It's a kid's house now. Look at that. This is a nice house. Is it worth $1.5 million? I don't think so, but it is. Now they're selling floors for $1 million across the street. Yeah, so yeah, the house, 3-family, legal 3-family too. Yeah, it's $1.5 million. It's how the the values have shot up here. Seaside Heights, the kids bought the house down here in 2017. What we thought was a lot of money at the time. The house went up 5 times the value since then. Couldn't touch this house now for like $1 million. That's amazing. Now I kick myself in the butt. We should have put my kids into greater debt. Your kids are on enough debt. Let's buy a few more houses. If I knew the properties down here were going to go like that. And the sad thing is I was told. Guy, Joe Ficari, long-time freeholder / commissioner in Ocean County, and he would be on the Shore Show, the television version, many times, and he would always say, Pat, buy property down here, Pat, this is going to explode down there. Damn, was he right. And I told when the kids got to the Jersey City house, I said, you should go into real estate. A friend of mine, Joe Panapinto. Yeah, Joe's a mega developer. I mean, big time. Guy's an icon, a legend. But he started in real estate, and in small real estate, and worked his way up. I said, you can't go wrong with owning the dirt. You got to own the dirt. So you got the house here in Jersey City. I'd get another couple properties. So we got the house here in Seaside. Man, that was a good investment. Actually, the kids are looking to get another house. I told them, while you can afford it, do it now. While you can handle the mortgages, do it now. When you're my age, you're sitting on a hell of a nest egg. And you both have pensions, and you'll have these multiple properties, but you got to work at it. You got to save the money, and right now I think they don't want to take any loans against the homes, even though they got huge equity on both of the homes. Which, it's just a small thing, but to do, you don't want to go too deep into debt, but you definitely want to get another piece of property in North Bergen. I'm talking the kids getting like 5 properties within the next 5 years total. Rent them out, and they're not getting $3,500. The rents that the kids are getting, I think it's $2,000 and $1,800 for the units in Jersey City. They're not asking a ton of money. I always felt it's better to have a good tenant than a high rent. You don't want to go through tenants every year. The tenants the kids have been there for at least 5 years now. So you're not changing over. They become like part of the house. The tenants they're there that long. They understand. They take care of the house. That's what you want, a good tenant. You can take short money that goes long, or you could take big money and keep going through the aggravation of new tenant, run the risk of bad tenant. So I'm happy with they're happy with the tenants they got. I'm happy with it. But yeah, I don't know how young couples do it. How can you even afford the rent? Think about it. You're going to cut a check every month, say for $3,500. That could be a mortgage payment. You're just giving that away to a landlord. And you can't afford. You want to get a house on Seaside Heights. These big one families I was talking about, $1 million. Yeah, how the hell that's a big down payment you got to put in just to have like a $5,000 mortgage payment a month. You got to come up with some real serious down payment money there. So affordability, I just read that on one of the blurbs during the commercial. That is becoming a main issue in New Jersey. That's going to be a problem for Mikey Sherrill because she's part of the ruling party here for the last 20 some odd years. Is the reason we don't have affordability here. And that's something. Yeah, you're going to start losing. You're going to have a brain drain going on here. You're going to have kids coming out of school or kids who have acquired a trade, and they're not going to be able to afford New Jersey. So they'll go over to Pennsylvania, and we'll lose that talent somehow, some way. And you got to have somebody that's far smarter than I am financially to figure out how we're going to do that. But somewhere along the line, we've got to make New Jersey affordable. At least making steps to make it affordable. By the way, this weekend there's a 5K run on the New Jersey Turnpike by exit 15X. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but they're going to close 15X, and they're going to have a marathon run there. 5K. Oh, that's not a marathon, I guess, right? 5K run. Let's get to our other news here. I did the Seaside event. Well, one event I do want to talk about coming up, and not too long from now, Columbus Day. What is that? When is Columbus Day? That's the 8th? Let me check my calendar. I'll look at the calendar to find out exactly when that is, so I can inform you. The calendar, Columbus Day is the 14th, probably, right? Columbus Day is the 13th. Yeah, a little more than 2 weeks from now. Columbus Day Festival here in Seaside Heights. It'll start on the, I got my calendar open here. That'll start on the 10th of October. And that runs through Columbus Day. And they do it right here in Seaside Heights. I mean, the Columbus Day Festival starts at Grant Avenue, right at the boardwalk, and goes all the way down to Central Avenue. If you're not familiar with Seaside, those are some long blocks. That's a lot of blocks to get down to Central Avenue. And they have everything you're expecting at an Italian festival. Food, then more food, a lot of food, and then even more a lot of food. You got the Italian food, you're going to have the cheesesteaks, you're going to have the sausage and peppers, you're going to have the kettle corn, you have the corn on the cob, you're going to have gyros, you're going to have all of that. Plus, hamburgers, french fries, that sort of thing, hot dogs on a stick. Then the Jersey Lottery will be here with their swag. They'll be giving out their swag. You'll have the singers, you'll have dances here. You'll have retail. You'll have the little stand where you can buy souvenirs. You got that bath fitter guy who's always down here. You can buy a shower while you're here. There's a lot of retail. There's like a little flea market they set up right off of the boulevard and Grant there, where you can get shirts and a whole bunch of odd stuff. But it's an enjoyable time. Hopefully we got good weather. My mother-in-law used to love coming to the Italian festival. You come down there for the 3 days, and at the end you have the big parade. You have the Columbus Day Parade, Ocean County Columbus Day Parade. That is on. I think that's on Monday. No, actually, it might be on Sunday. Well, it's in there somewhere. I don't have the event set up yet. It's either Sunday or Monday. You have the big parade. Actually, now the more I think about it, I think it is on the Sunday. Not everybody has Columbus Day off, so those marchers and band people have to go to work. So yeah, the Columbus Day Parade will be on Sunday. Big parade, the fire trucks, the antique cars, the marching bands, all that sort of stuff. I'll talk to Mayor Vaz, we might broadcast from the Italian Festival one of the nights. Maybe we'll do the parade. Not a big parade guy, but I'll do it to help the town. Get some of my students to come down, hang out at the festival. The kids will get a kick out of that. But if you can, plan for that. You can get apartments down here. My kids have the Airbnb rental. You have the motels. You can come down here, pull in here Friday night. Go home Sunday night if you got Columbus Day off. Go home Monday morning, that sort of deal. Whatever the case is, whatever you can afford. And remember, Seaside Heights fits into anybody's budget. And if you are coming down for the Columbus Day holiday, you get an efficiency apartment where you can, when you get down here, you go to ShopRite, or you go to Stop and Shop, or you got the Acme here, you got an Aldi's in town. You load up your food for the days you're down here. If you like my daughters, they have an Airbnb rental here. You go to Airbnb and you put in 414-536-536. That's 414-536-36, and you got an Airbnb rental for the 3 days of the festival. And you can go get a food order, so you can enjoy the menu there at the festival. Oh, and you want to blow too much money on that? You go home and you can cook. You have your own sandwiches, whatever you want to do, like the Airbnb here with the kids. It's a full kitchen, full dining area, 2 bathrooms, 2 televisions. You got Alexa, you got all the streaming channels. You're all set. And there's many of those like that here in Seaside Heights, just that you can bring pets to the kids' house here. If you got a dog, you got a big fenced-in yard, so the dog will be happy. You got your cats. We let cats down here, so it's okay. But make the plans. Columbus Day in October here. Great festival. You will have a good time. Hopefully we have good weather. My mother-in-law didn't care. She would sit out there in the rain. Sit out there in the rain and enjoy whatever she could from the Italian festival. She really liked it. Rest of her soul. You had some bribery accusations in New York. We're talking about, it did like almost an hour on the governor's race here. Curtis Lee was saying somebody from the Cuomo camp was offering him good money to drop out of the race. He's on the Republican side. I guess, if you have no Republican candidates, you're going to vote for somebody, then you'll go to the Democratic side. But the problem with Lee would drop it down He's the top of the ticket for the Republican Party in New York City. So he drops out. That hurts the whole ticket. So Sliwa's not dropping out. Maybe you get Eric Adams. Yeah, it's a shame what happened with Eric Adams. I thought he was a straight shooter. He had some issues with some of the people in City Hall he brought with him when he became mayor. That almost happens to every mayor. You dance with who you came to the party with. And you give them positions in City Hall, and some of them are going to make bad decisions. Usually in the second year or somewhere during their term, you're going to weed some people out. Mayor Fulop weed some people out. It's a vastly different group with Mayor Fulop in Jersey City now than when he came in. But you start to work with these people on a daily basis, and you're like, oh, this was not a good decision giving this person a job. Is there truth that somebody was offering money to Sliwa? Well, first of all, it would be pretty stupid, because Sliwa's got to make a spectacle out of it. I have some history with Sliwa. I drink some Propel water. Years ago, at least 12 years now, Fulop was a councilman back then. I was doing a show at the Lowe's Theater, probably more than 12 years. We were doing the weekly show. Either out of the city show, I forget which one. You go on Google, you Google Steve Fulop, Curtis Sliwa, you'll find the show on YouTube. Mayor Fulop was the guest. He was a councilman at the time. And Curtis Sliwa was the guest. He came over from New York on the path. We were at the Lowe's Theater right across the street from the path. And he was talking about the crime and the problems in Jersey City and how he was going to set up a Guardian Angels squad in Jersey City. I'm looking at him saying, that's not going to happen here in Jersey City. We don't do that. And they're, we're going to have it. You'll have Guardian Angels all over. I'll make the city safe. I said, I tell you what, I'll give you 6 months. Come back here. We'll do another show so I can say I told you so. 6 months come and go. There ain't no Guardian Angels in Jersey City. That just didn't take root. So I reached out for him. I had to sell. Why don't you go back over? We'll talk about the Guardian Angels here in Jersey City. He would not come back over. He did not want to give me the opportunity to say, I told you so. So my problem with Sliwa is he doesn't keep his word. A friend of mine, Angelo, who just recently passed away in the last year, used to listen to Sliwa all the time, call the show. He's a big fan of Sliwa. I would tell Angelo, the guy doesn't keep his word. Doesn't keep his word at all, Angie. Good guy, Angie. I was just thinking about him this morning, too. Good guy. I'm sad he's gone. Government may shut down next week. Yeah, it happens so often now with these government shutdowns. Like every 6 months we have to worry about the government shutting down. But we put so many safeguards in. Now, the average person is probably not going to notice that the government shut down. The schools are going to operate. Your Social Security payments will come in. Your SNAP cards will work. All these things will still work, but they keep putting in these safeguards that people wouldn't get hurt if the government shut down. So now it's just, I don't know who it affects anymore. The government shuts down. The law enforcement will continue on. The FBI, was that Comey guy, the former director of the FBI, just got indicted. Yeah, I can almost tell he was lying when he was the FBI and doing those congressional hearings, and it looks like he has. ICE is still going to do their job. But I may have had ICE agent got a little too zealous the other day, pushing a woman to the floor who was hanging on to him. One thing about the ICE before I get into that subject. Do people realize that ICE has been around a long, long time? They've been doing enforcement for a long, long time. Taking illegal aliens off the streets for a long, long time. For that matter, Barack Obama deported 5 million illegal immigrants during his term. With all the effort the Trump administration is putting into trying to deport the 20 million or so that the Biden administration let in, I doubt if he reaches the numbers of Barack Obama. Just that media didn't care because it was Barack Obama. Oh, sorry, Barack, don't worry about it. We don't have to report on that. That's one of the problems we have in this country is the media. We don't know what's truth anymore, and we don't get the fact. We don't get the facts so we can make a determination ourselves. They lean everything to their thought process, and they're certainly leaning to the left. Walter Cronkite, Roger Grimsley, Bill Butel, those guys that were the anchors back then, Harry Reasoner, those sort of guys, you trusted them. Those guys, they had dignity. They had the respect of their fellow journalists. They had your respect. When Cronkite spoke, you knew it was the truth. And he was just going to give you the facts. We don't get that anymore. These guys are just reading off the prompter. And whoever's writing it and whatever their lean is on the story, that's what you're getting. They're having meetings before the news and say, well, we're going to report this, we want to report that. Whatever Trump does is bad. Yeah, I think Trump doesn't need to be on television as much as he is. Maybe he's not on as much. We're just, after 4 years of Biden, basically hiding for 4 years. And now we know why they were hiding for 4 years. Maybe it looks like Trump is on too much. But at least I'll give Trump credit. He's out there trying to do things, unlike what was going on to Biden. But legacy media, that's what they're now referring it to. There's an issue there. Where I watch all the news shows, and you can almost see the left leaning in the stories as they're reporting it. Now, again, most of these guys are talking heads. They're not out there getting the stories, like Mike Wallace used to do. Cronkite was another guy that would be on the scene. They're not doing that anymore. They're literally just reading off the prompters. So whoever's producing and who the writers are, they're giving their spin on what they would like you to believe is the news. So that's one of the problems we have. We don't have good media, and sadly, we're losing newspapers too. Maybe some of these we should lose because they were also leaning. All I want the news is give me the facts. Let me make my own decision. Let me form my own opinion. Don't ram it down my throat, your opinion. Just give me the facts. That's all I look for. So we have a government shutdown coming next week. We'll see how that works out. Like I said, probably most of us won't even notice it. You still have to pay bills. And the counties, the cities, town halls will open, city halls will open. All these things will continue to go on. Not laying off any congressmen or senators. None of that's happening. They'll still get paid. Yep. I don't know if there'll be much of an effect on the average person. We'll see. The military will still continue. National Guard. ICE will still do their jobs. Law enforcement, the FBI, CIA, marshals, all those guys will still do their job. I was talking before about tariffs. Goldman Sachs is saying the tariffs are working. They're creating a huge amount of revenue. But we're still getting shorted on revenue because there's some tariff dodges, they're saying. Again, when Trump was elected, I said, let's give him a year before we start making any opinions on, what Trump is doing and how it's going to be done. What the effectiveness is. If the tariffs are working and the government is getting money and he's cutting expenses, we should eventually start seeing our taxes go down. Actually, if he starts knocking down the debt of the nation, because if you got children like I do, you would like to see them breathe a little easier financially without having high taxes, whether it's federal, state, city, county, and it starts from the top. So if we can start reducing the debt, that'll start reducing the bite on your tax bill. So I would like to see the government get more revenue in. For the longest time, the playing field wasn't level between our companies and overseas companies. As I said this before, I used to work for the Trans-America Corporation, that big pyramid building in San Francisco. And, of course, I wasn't in the San Francisco building, I was in Jersey. We would ride down the turnpike. My old boss at Danielle, he would point out the ocean-going containers, mountains of them, in storage. And they would say, economy's bad, you see that? We're not exporting, we're just importing. But that was the case for years and years. We allowed ourselves to get the bad end of the deal on exports. Now that's starting to change. For that matter, the mountains of containers aren't as high. So yeah, we're exporting now better than we had in a while. Now my only indicator of that is the mountains of containers along the turnpike. They're not, they're not the Himalayas anymore. So they're not Mount Everest. They're coming down in size. So that's working. And Goldman Sachs is actually saying that the tariffs are working. Actually, it should be working a little bit better. Trump, say a little more on Trump. He was at the UN last week. He made some real issues there with the UN. We might be giving the Ukraine some Tomahawk missiles over there. That should get Putin's attention. He was asked about shooting down Russian planes over Polish skies, Polish territory. He said, yeah, shoot them down. And he had three situations that he's calling a triple sabotage, which he might be. And you know what? We're probably paying the most money on the UN's tab. You want to fool around with this guy that has no problem cutting funding? Whatever idiot at the UN decided thought it was going to be smart to say, as soon as Trump gets on the escalator, cut the power. And you're seeing that. It stopped as soon as he got on there, him and Malena, is it? He got on there and it stopped. They had to walk up. That was a long walk, too. I could not have done that with my knees. And I'm a bit younger than Trump. But he's got better knees than I do. Then he goes to give a speech, and the teleprompter's out. Which isn't a problem for Trump because he loves winging it. Now he's unfiltered. Yeah, the worst thing that could happen to the UN with him unfiltered, just going off the top of his head in the speech. So there you go. Bad move for the UN. He basically laid the UN out. And then it turns out, during the speech, there was a problem with the audio. So yeah, there's too many coincidences there. Somebody was putting the screws to Trump. But again, we pay the largest sum of the UN's budget. I wouldn't fool with the guy that has no problem cutting money out of anything. So, we'll see where this goes with the big triple. I reported on this. I don't know if I did it on the Shore Show. I know I did it on the City Show. New Jersey is considering filing lawsuits against oil production companies, Exxon, Mobil, BP, so forth and so forth, making them responsible for pollution and climate change in New Jersey because of the use of their oil products. Now, they've sold the products. We use them. Now, if we're going to file a lawsuit, do we stop using the oil products? Do we stop using gasoline? Do I stop using all these? Everything that has to do with oil. From the plastic that I'm surrounded by here, to the gasoline in my car, to the motor oil, to the heating oil in your home. Yeah, petroleum is big business. Almost everything we touch has petroleum in it. You want to fool around with them? Are we hypocrites for saying, yeah, we should sue them for their for producing oil and drilling oil, but we're going to keep utilizing the oil? I don't see how that works. But then you look at the opioid lawsuits, where the Rite Aids and the CVSs and the pharmacies of the world, they got sued and they paid for filling prescriptions that doctors wrote for opioids, and they paid millions and billions of dollars. I never understood that lawsuit. If a doctor prescribes a prescription, you hand the prescription to the pharmacist. Excuse me. He fills it. That's his job. He's not the one to say, I don't think you should have these opioids or these pain pills. But you ever get pain pills, it's like you get like 20 questions on it. What are you going to do with these pills? I got a prescription here for 6 pills. Now, what are you going to do with them? Yeah, I'm going to sell them on the street, my 6 pills. I need them for my knees. Just give me the damn pills. Don't 20 question me on it. If my doctor says I should have them, I should have them. But these pharmacies, they just rolled over and they paid. And now, Rite Aid's gone pretty much. All of them now are having problems. This is one of the things I talked about yesterday. There's a problem with our healthcare, where the insurance companies are making a ton of money. Pharmacies are struggling. Hospitals are struggling. For that matter, in Jersey City, I got to get into this week. I'll definitely make sure it's a question in the debate on the 30th. I'm producing a debate for New Jersey City University, NJCU, Tuesday, September the 30th at 6:30. It'll be on our YouTube, it'll be on Twitter, it'll be on all our streaming stations, and on Comcast Cable, Channel 190 and Channel 1098. The former mayor of Jersey City, Brett Schundler, is moderating. I'm going to make sure that's one of the questions. Christ Hospital, which is Heights University Hospital now. Hudson Regional Health took over the hospitals from CarePoint, Hoboken, Bayonne, and Christ Hospital. Now they're talking about closing Christ hospitals to essential services, to non-essential services. Basically, they'll have an emergency room operating, if that. There was always rumors that Christ Hospital was not going to survive these mergers with the Hudson Regional, and here it is coming to truth. Mayor Fulop was part of that negotiating team on this. For that matter, I think he was on the not-for-profit board. Somebody's got to answer to what's happening with Christ Hospital. That is a huge blow to the Heights. That's a huge blow to Jersey City. We're running out of hospitals in Jersey City. We used to have quite a few. Now we're down to Jersey City Medical Center, Greenville Hospital, and Christ Hospital. That's it. We used to have St. Francis. We had other hospitals at St. Francis. They're gone. We can't afford to lose hospitals. So Mayor Fulop's going to have to answer on that. I'll be reaching out to him Monday to find out what the hell happened here. I was just talking to Heights Councilman Richie Borgiano concerning it, and he had a completely different take, and it wasn't very positive for Mayor Fulop on that take. But I'll talk to Mayor Fulop. We got some other issues we got to go over also. What the hell happened here? And why is this being allowed to happen? But that's the problem with our healthcare industry. There's a problem when the hospitals are having problems. There's a problem when the doctors are having problems. At private practice, one of my doctors, he called himself a dinosaur. Said, I'm private practice. I'm not affiliated with any major medical organizations. I have privileges at the hospitals, but I'm not a partner with any of them. But try to find that now when you go to a physician that isn't part of some major medical organization. Like I said, he is a dinosaur. There's a problem with our health situation where the insurance companies are making big bucks, and I don't begrudge them big bucks. They're in the business to make money. I have a problem when just that aspect of our medical concerns here in New Jersey are making money, and the doctors have struggled, the hospitals are struggling, the pharmacies are struggling. There's a problem there. Why is everybody trying to reach me now when I'm on the air? Try to tell these people. There was a lawsuit filed over the last 6 months. This YouTuber, I don't want to say journalist, I call myself a journalist. I'm not a journalist. I host shows. I'm not a journalist. I didn't go to school for this. As you might be able to tell, Leroy Truth, he filed a bunch of lawsuits against Union City Mayor Brian Stack, the city of Jersey City, Paul Solo, State Senator Paul Solo, the city of Jersey City over false arrest and assault and being dragged out of a church. A lot of that stuff didn't happen, or it was I should say it was over exaggerated, especially the one with the church situation. And there were all these cases were thrown out. So I'm sure Leroy Truth will have something to say on that on his YouTube. I'm all in favor of civic warriors. I was a civic warrior. I still am a civic warrior. I still fight the issues. People have an issue with the municipalities or the county or consumers. I'm the guy who will go out and help them. I don't go out and antagonize municipalities or counties just so I can get clicks on YouTube. I'm there just to help people. And what's happening now, you're getting these hordes of YouTubers that come into municipal meetings, council meeting, commissioner meeting, and they got their iPhones on their gear there. They have the iPhone gear for the cell phone, and they literally disrupt the council or the commissioner meetings. They're not part of the community. Some of these people from Connecticut here in Jersey City or Union City, and they're just there to flamethrow at Brian Stack. Brian Stack. I've known Brian Stack for 30 some odd years now. Brian Stack is probably one of the most successful mayors in New Jersey, maybe in the country. He makes go with a little. You might have a problem if he doesn't have a Democratic mayor, but Brian seems to be able to get a lot of money out of Trenton. Jack Citarelli may could seriously impact Brian's Union City. He may be not getting $30 million in distress aid and a lot of school money. Brian is a pretty damn good mayor, especially when it comes to constituent services. Brian's a hard-nosed guy. For that matter, I know Brian well because he's me. I'm 10 years older than Brian. His personality, his attitude is the same as mine was. There's still that street kid, and Brian's a street kid. There's still that street kid is in the accomplished Brian Stack, the mayor and state senator, but that street kid is still in there. The street kid that has no problem punching you in the nose, throwing some punches at you. That kid is still in Brian. That kid is still in me. So when he goes off, I actually understand what he's doing. They'll go to a Union City meeting and just flamethrow at Brian. Got to the point, somebody sent me a link to Leroy's last visit to Union City. Brian's got so much distance between these YouTubers. There's like 6 of these YouTubers there with their cameras, their iPhone cameras, and where the podium is for the speakers and where the commissioners are, gotta be like 80 feet in this gymnasium. You can't even hear Brian or the commissioners. Is it really a meeting if I can't hear you guys? But Brian just wants to go so far away from these people who have absolutely nothing to do with Union City. Absolutely. It's hard to take somebody serious who isn't from the city. You want to come and bitch about Jersey City and you're from Connecticut? I'm not going to pay attention to you. Let me get a Jersey City person up there. Brian, they throw in these corrupt. Brian's not corrupt. Does he bend some rules to help his constituents? Yep. You ever go to Brian Stack's Union City office? Have a meeting with Brian Stack. There are constituents lined up the staircases to see Brian. Whatever the problem is, they have a problem with their rent or their landlord. They need baby formula. They need help in a prescription for their grandfather. Whatever the case is, they come to Brian. And Brian manages to pull it out of his hat somehow, how to help these people. This is a daily occurrence. There's nobody who drills down to the constituent base like Brian. Maybe Nick Stackwood, he does a lot of it also, but not to the degree on a daily basis where these people are lined up in Union City's City Hall. Brian Stack is not corrupt. Put it this way. I'll tell you something about corruption in Hudson County. If you're corrupt, you'll get busted. Everybody who's been corrupt in Jersey City has been busted. Or in Hudson County, I should say. In Jersey City, too. We've made our share of bust. The corrupt people got busted. They always point to Frank Hague, the former mayor, and the guy's an icon in Jersey City history. Say what you want about Frank. Frank Hague did a lot for Jersey City. It's hard to walk around Jersey City today and not see Frank Hague's footsteps. There's a lot he did that's still there. But anybody who's committed crimes, taken a bribe, who's gave out no-show jobs, whatever the case is, they get busted in Jersey City or in Hudson County. Never fails. We ran mayors out for accepting puppies. It took a puppy as a gift, you're out of a job. You name it, those guys get caught. And they get caught all the time. So there's corruption. And two, Brian Stack knows full well about the corruption. Again, he was a street kid working with the political parties when he was 16 years old. He's seen what happened to corrupt politicians in Union City. They get caught. Look at Bob Menendez Sr. He's in jail right now. He was a good guy for Hudson County. He brought home the bacon for Hudson County. I like Bob Menendez. I like his son. Bob got caught up, I'll say, with a woman. You got King Kong. King Kong was Beauty that killed the beast. And it was Beauty that killed Bob Menendez there in his political career, in my belief. Bob Menendez is an icon there. And Brian Stack, he sees what happened to predecessors of his in the mayor's office, and he's seen what happened to Menendez. He's seen what happened, in North Bergen over the years. He's seen what happened in Secaucus. He's seen what happened in Jersey City, Hoboken. All those mayors all got wrapped up in something. So Brian's no fool. Does he bend the rule? Yeah, I think all mayors do. If somebody need a little help getting affordable housing, Brian probably bent the rule there. But it was always to help, never to benefit himself. All right, let's break for commercial. You're listening to The Shore Show Radio, Seaside Heights edition. I'll be right back.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its two newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one path stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712. All right, I'm back. Pure Show Radio, Seaside Heights edition. Pat O'Melia here. I just messed up my cell phone. My case was going bad. The glue that held the back of my case on let go. So I'm going to crazy glue it, Gorilla Glue it. I put the damn Gorilla Glue on the wrong side. I put it on the inside where the phone would lay instead of the outside where it would adhere to the cover. So now, Gorilla Glue is good. So you just can't wipe that off, so that case is shot to hell. I have to go pick up my computer later. That's one of the calls I got during the radio here. Guy has cell phone repair. I think he's got phone cases. See if I get a phone case. If not, I'll have to order from where everybody gets everything, Amazon. So now I got no case here. And I'm just not reliable enough to walk around without a case, because I'll definitely drop it. Good thing I don't get rid of cases. My old case fits it, but it doesn't fit the switches. That's the problem. You know, the buttons to turn it on. So, but at least it will protect it if I drop it, which I do often. One thing about those Android phones, Samsung Android phones, God, those things are made of iron, man. Made of iron. I do a piece every week, Jersey Line. You know, I did it yesterday. I'll do it today, where I make the football picks. Not only am I picking the games, I have ChatGPT picking games. We'll see who does better between me and the artificial intelligence. Here we go, Jersey game. I won Thursday night. I took the Seattle Seahawks, giving the Cardinals 1.5 points. I won. Cardinals. Sam Darnold, the ex-Jet quarterback, pulled it out at the end. Got the Seahawks down the field into field goal position. The guy kicked a field goal. He missed the one before that. I win. That's all that matters. My record to date so far, I'm 28-20. So I'm 8 games over 500. Actually, I won Thursday night, so I'm 9 games over 500. My friend, ChatGPT, is 26-23. So he's only 3 games. So I am smarter than artificial intelligence. What I'm doing tomorrow morning, 9:30 in the morning. I think it's on the NFL Network. You got the Vikings at Steelers in Dublin. Steelers are the home team. Vikings are playing pretty good ball. Carson Wentz is quarterbacking right now. J.J. McCarthy is out with a high ankle sprain. Aaron Rodgers is quarterbacking the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron's playing pretty damn good. The problem with the Steelers is their defense isn't up to par. Hopefully, Tomlin gets that taken care of, because I took the Steelers, and I'm getting 2.5 points. You give me the Steelers defense, the normal Steelers defense, with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, and 2.5 points, I'm jumping on that. Sunday, when we get back to normal time, 1 o'clock, we got the Eagles at Buccaneers. All you South Jersey people here, a lot of them, Seaside Heights, I'm going to go with the Eagles over the Buccaneers, even though Baker Mayfield is really having a resurgence. He's the guy that was drummed out of Cleveland. Well, who isn't drummed out of Cleveland as a quarterback, right? It's a constant problem there. Now they're talking about making another trade for C.J. Stroud from Texas. Yeah, the last one went really good trading with Texas. I'm going to take the Eagles over the Buccaneers. Happy to see Baker Mayfield. He went to the Rams. He got his career back online. Signed to make good contract with the Buccaneers, and he made good on it. So he's back in the good graces of the NFL gods. But I'm taking the Eagles, minus 3.5. I knew they were going to be in a trap game last week against the Rams. That one broke my heart. I had the Rams. I'm getting, I think, 2.5 points. I think I was up 26-24 with 8 seconds to go. I'm working on the cards outside. I got this one in the bag. Instead of just taking a knee, which they normally do, they kick a field goal, and it gets blocked, and the Eagles run it back. Eagles win, I lose. I'll go with those Eagles. Saints at the Bills, this is some big spread. 16.5 the Saints are getting. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points. But the Buffalo, if they're playing, and they defensively, they put a couple of guys out for the game. Milano's out for the game. I still see Buffalo running away with this game. Unless they just want to coast and just rest their players. That is a big spot, but I'm going to take the Bills, minus 16.5. Browns at the Lions. If you watch the Lions Monday night, you've seen what the Lions can do. The Lions, they when they're in sync, they are literally unstoppable on offense. And their defense is good enough that they hang in there. I'm going to take the Lions over the Browns, minus 8.5 points. Even though the Browns beat the Packers. I don't know what the hell happened to the Packers. That was another game they lost last week. Titans at Texas. Somewhere along the line, C.J. Stroud is going to get it back together, and the Texans are far more along than the Titans are. Titans are starting their number one draft choice, their quarterback. Kid's made some plays. He's made some dumb plays. A ridiculous interception he threw. But I'm going to go with Texas, minus 7.5. The Los Angeles Chargers, who will always be the San Diego Chargers to me, are at the Giants. Giants are starting Dart this week. The Giants are getting 6.5. Really, the line didn't move. I should check, but the line hadn't moved, even with the announcement of Dart over Russell Wilson. I think the Chargers are the best team in the NFL right now. I'm going to go with the Chargers, minus 6.5. Commanders at the Falcons. Falcons got drubbed by the Panthers. And Commanders are a far better team. Even if Mariota's starting, and he is starting, Daniels is going to sit the game out. I'm still going with the Commanders, minus 1.5 over the Falcons. And you're going to see a coaching change. The first coaching change of the year will be with the Falcons. Panthers at the Patriots. Panthers look really good. Bryce Young looked really good. I think New England is a more complete team. I think Derek May is going to be a good quarterback if you let these kids grow. That already, whispers about Derek May in New England. I think New England they play pretty good defense. I'm going to take the Patriots, minus 5.5. That's one game that kind of scares me. I've seen what Bryce Young can do there. Give this kid a little more time. It's his third year, but he's had a rough 2 years. Coaches changes, offensive coordinators change. He had some issues. But you give this kid time, I think he's a good quarterback. Colts at Rams. Teams that were actually traded for each other. They were traded, the Rams and the Colts, for each other. Colts with Danny Dimes. Daniel Jones, 3-0 against the Rams. The Rams, I tell you what, they're looking pretty damn good on offensive, defense. They can run, they can throw, and they can play defense. The Colts are going to have to show me something. If they can beat the Rams, then I'll become a true believer. I'm going to take the Rams minus 3.5 over the Colts. 49ers, Jaguars at 49ers. Jaguars look better than they have. I've won with them a few times this year. But the 49ers, they're really playing good. They're 3-0. Whether it's Purdy there or Mac Jones, I like Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is a little banged up. But, you got a shot at Purdy. I don't know if a decision's finally been made. Purdy may be there or Mac Jones will be there. But whoever, I think they can handle the Jaguars, the 49ers. So I'm taking the 49ers minus 3.5. Yeah, I got glue all over the place here. I got the Ravens at the Chiefs. Ravens have a problem beating the Chiefs and the Bills and the Lions now. Bills beat them. What'd they come back from? Like 19 points in the last 6 minutes? There's a problem with the big games. And anytime you're playing KC, it's a big game. KC at home is a big game. KC at home getting 2.5 points is a big game. I'm taking the Chiefs plus 2.5 against the Ravens at home. Somewhere along the line, the Chiefs are going to get in sync. They're going to get rolling, and this may be the start of it. Eventually, teams do decline, but you got a lot of youth on KC, and even Andy Reid was saying, I don't understand why our running game isn't clicking right now. So I'm sure they worked on that a lot this week, the running game. Bears at the Raiders. Now, Pete Carroll, probably not going to make the playoffs this year with the Raiders, but Pete Carroll will get things going on. You got Tom Brady as an advisor there, a part owner, minority owner. You give Pete Carroll time, and he's pretty old, but he's pretty spry yet. I think he's like 76 years old. He'll get it turned around, but it might not be this year. I think the Bears are a team on the up. I think Williams is starting to show what he can do, beat the hell out of the Cowboys. I'm going to take those Bears, and I'm getting 1.5 points. I'm going to take the Bears versus the Raiders plus 1.5. Late game Sunday is Packers at Cowboys. Micah Parsons coming home to play against a team that traded him away. I'm sure he'll have a chip on his shoulder. He'll probably have a chip on his shoulder as he comes in. But I think the Packers are a more complete team. I'm going to go with the Packers minus 6.5. That's a lot, 6.5. Giving 6.5 points to a home team. And the Cowboys, they know how to lose. They managed to grab defeat out of the jaws of victory. And I think that'll happen here with the Packers. Even though last week with the Browns, I think got the wake-up call for the Packers. They can't understand anybody. You got to keep your foot on the gas pedal there. Monday night we got 2 games. We got the Jetsies. The Jetsies at the Dolphins. The Jetsies are getting 2.5. I think the coach of the Miami Dolphins is on a hot seat. It's either him or the coach of the Falcons, who are going to be the first ones to be jettisoned this year. Tua, I tell you what, if he doesn't get concussions, he is a hell of a quarterback. I mean, he is one of the most accurate passes I've probably ever seen. It's as if he's handing the ball to the receivers. But I think the Jets have their number. And even with Tyron Taylor, I think they can play with Miami. I think the defense is much better than Miami's. So I'm going to go take those Jets. I'll probably regret this. But I think the Jets are a team on the up. I don't think the up is going to be this year. It'd be interesting if they can get Arch Manning next year. But I tell you, Justin Fields looked okay until he got into concussion protocol there. And then the second game is Bengals. Bengals at the Broncos. The Bengals without Joe Burrow are an expansion team. I mean, they are awful. There's no playoffs because Joe Burrow is going to miss about 8 games. So forget the playoffs for Cincinnati. They might be playing for a number 1 draft choice. Now, maybe they get Arch Manning. Maybe you make some killer deal. You make a trade. Maybe you trade Burrow. He's a hell of a quarterback, but he's fragile. But when he's out, Cincinnati is putrid. I'm going to take the Broncos minus 7. You're giving 7 points. You wouldn't have unthinkable a couple of weeks since Cincinnati getting 7 points. So that's my Jersey line predictions. Now again, I'm up 8 games over 500. I hope to continue my winning ways. Last year when we did this, the first 3-4 weeks, they were horrible for me. That was like 3 and 3-13, 4-12. It was tough. This year, what I did, I went with proven quarterbacks and proven teams in the first few weeks. Now, I'm spreading it out a little bit. I'm starting to see how the defense is playing, how the offense is playing. But for the first 3 weeks, I kind of went with last year's records. If you had a good quarterback, I was going with you. I was saying before, we have a debate set up Tuesday the 30th from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. We're bringing in the candidates for mayor in Jersey City. There are 7 candidates. I think we got 5 of them. Joyce Waterman, she's the council president. She had the town hall that day, so she won't be with us. And there's another young lady that I had no information on how to get in touch with. There's 2 real fringe candidates here. They don't have full tickets. Brett Schundler, the former mayor of Jersey City, is the moderator. He emailed. He didn't get anything back. So we're going to set it up for the 5 candidates, 5 podiums with Brett Schundler. It'll be on Comcast Cable, Channel 190 in Jersey City, and 1098. It'll be on our YouTube channel. It'll be on our Facebook, provided Facebook and YouTube aren't feuding. Have it on Twitter. We'll get on what streaming channels we can. So just follow our Twitter lead and watch it if you're a Jersey City person. It's my civic duty. I do these things. I'm going to probably announce Monday the ward council debate. Those are going to run in the afternoon. We keep pushing these things at night. These guys got to be out campaigning. And in our world now, it's a DVR world. You go into YouTube, you have to watch things. We're not watching things as they happen. For that matter, you watch a lot of these shows sign off news shows. When they sign off, they'll say, don't forget to DVR us, but they want the DVR numbers too. I'm going to bring these candidates in. Maybe the first debate like at 1 o'clock. Second debate at 3 o'clock. And I'll do like AB, 1 o'clock. Ward A, 1 o'clock. Ward B, 3 o'clock. The next day we'll bring in Ward C and D at the same times. If you're running for council, I'm sure you can get out of work a half day or early, whatever the case is. And this way we'll film it. We'll broadcast it live. And then we'll put it up on YouTube and on our stations. And people can watch it at their leisure. Hopefully we have good production values. The only thing, I'm in the new studio. We're in for a bigger studio. We moved basically on the other side of our building. We picked up some more footage, square footage, and we have an area for the high school kids where they can do their editing without being involved with the studio production where the people are filming, and the kids can work in their editing bays. But there's these 2 poles, to hold up the ceiling, and no matter how I position these podium, these 2 poles become a problem. So now we're going to try to set it up and say we're going to work with these 2 poles now. Let's try to avoid them. We're going to try to work with them. Yeah, I pick up more square footage, but just the way it's set up with these 2 poles in the middle of the friggin' studio there, that it just causing me problems setting up the debate. Now I've had debates where we've had 7, 8 candidates before. And with these polls, I can't figure out how I can do it. We have a line of sight between the moderator and the candidates. It's just something that it didn't pop up when we were looking at the space. And I kind of sit there in the chair before we moved, and you look at it, and I completely redesigned the studio. I didn't like wires all over the floor. We had extension cords. We had the wires going from the cables, from the cameras to the video switches. I hated all that. I hated the lights with the tripods. It was always crowded between tripods for the cameras, the light stanchions, the cables from the cameras, the extension cords. So I designed this thing that the lights are all up in the ceiling, the wires are running up in the ceiling. I got wireless transmitters for the cameras, so it was no longer the cable to the switches. All this stuff, all the mistakes that I learned in the first 2 studio spaces, I put into play here, except for those 2 poles. They were poles in the other spot, but it was the space was cut up differently, so it wasn't that big of an issue. We had more of a back wall, and if we didn't have the editing bays for the kids, and there's a wall that separates the editing bays from the studio, probably wouldn't be an issue, but we have it. But it was never a case where I didn't think about the debates. But everything else works fine, so we'll just we'll work around the debate issue. We only do this like every 4 years or so. So that's something we'll figure this out as we go along. But the 30th, we'll have the Jersey City mayoral debate for NJCU. I'm producing it for them. And then on the 21st of October, we'll have the Hudson Media Group debate, same location, dealing with the same two polls again. But once I get past that, I'll be all right. Once you get past the polls and these debates, I don't have to worry about it for another 4 years. Whereas, what else we want to talk about? Again, let's get to Seaside. Don't forget, beautiful day. I'm looking at the sky here. Looks nice. Weather's good. It's going to be good all day. You got no rain in your forecast, so you're looking great. Let's take a look at exit 82 while we're here talking about this stuff. Somebody looking for me? Somebody got to wait for me. I had to wait to listen to the 12 minutes and then the show's over. Like I said, this is our last Shore Show radio, Seaside Heights edition. What am I doing here? I'm messing up here. I'm aggravated about that. The crazy glue. I put it on the wrong side of my phone. Now I'm mad at myself. I waited all that while for that crazy glue to come to the bottom. Oh, had the bottle upside down so it would roll down to the top of the bottle so I can get it out of there. And it wouldn't come out of the squeeze, so I had to take the cap off. And I'm going to rush it and realize I was putting it on the wrong side. I'm freaking stupid. All right, Lucky Leo's today. What's going on? As we speak, is it an as we speak situation? Yes, as we speak. Actually, I think I got a touch of a cold. A little sore throat. As we speak, you have the apple decorating going on at Lucky Leo's. That started at 11 a.m. and it's till 12:30 p.m. Go right into Lucky Leo's arcade and you decorate some apples. You got sunflowers and yoga at Gallery 619. That's right on the boulevard there. It's the new art gallery in Seaside Heights. You got a bunch of local artists who are displaying their craft. And here you can do some sunflowers and yoga. Dogs are in favor this weekend here in Seaside Heights. And next weekend also, because I was looking at some of the stuff for next weekend. Dog royalty days. You bring your doggy in with you. Hang out on the boardwalk. Don't pay attention to the sign when you come in. Where no dogs allowed, because they're allowed now. You got an Oktoberfest going on. That's at Lucky Leo's. You got Lucky Leo. That's a Oktoberfest VIP party. You got Pups and Pints at the Casino Pier. Pups and World. The Lucky Leo's Oktoberfest is from. Oh, it's going on right now from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can make it. Get in the car. Come on down. You got Pups and Pints at the Casino Pier. You can drink with your pup from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Have some beers with the pup. Not a problem. Dog Day afternoon. Looks like that's from Tito's Vodka. And that's at Jimbo's on the boardwalk. You can bring your dog, do some drinking. Do a lot of drinking with your dog this weekend. Don't let your dog drive. It's a Dog Day afternoon. That's at Jimbo's Bar and Grill. That's from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Then next weekend, you got the Seaside Truck Show. And that's going to be on the Bay Boulevard. As soon as you come in over the bridge, you'll see a bunch of trucks there. And that's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's something they probably should ask me about broadcasting. I got to hook up my mobile Wi-Fi hotspot for when we go out on location, whether it's for the kids in the North Bergen program. What I'm doing in the North Bergen studio, I'm teaching high school seniors and college kids studio and radio production. We got a control band where we can go on location. We got portable power here. I think our portable power box over there can handle about 4 hours of video. I mean, lights, camera, mixes. The radio is even less of a draw on the electrical. We got to make sure our Wi-Fi hotspot can handle the needs. We did test it about a year ago. It did work. So we're going to test it again, do a few more tests with this, and make sure the Wi-Fi hotspot is working. And if it is, I might do the Columbus Day Festival here in Seaside Heights. Now, they probably should have talked to me about the truck show. I could have advertised it, promoted that a little bit. You got alpacas here at Lucky Leo's next week on October the 4th. That's Saturday from 12 to 1:30. Guess you got a little petting zoo set up there where you can see some alpacas at Lucky Leo's. And it's always something with Lucky Leo's. Lucky Leo's is always doing something. And on Sunday, October the 5th, I think that's October the 5th, I have my calendar in front of me, is 10 to 3 p.m. That's Lucky Leo's Broadway Day. So again, go to exit 86. exit82.com, 86, come on, exit82.com, and you see all the events, you'll see all the lodging. Don't forget, you got the big Columbus Day Festival coming up. Middle of, starts what, the 13th, I think I said? But it starts on the 11th, actually, on the Friday night. And it starts on Grant Avenue at the boardwalk, goes all the way down to Central, and believe me, that's a long way from the boardwalk to Central, so there's a lot of activity going on. And keep in mind, the boardwalk is open. The Casino Pier will be open, the rides will be open, the stands will be open, Lucky Leo's will be open, the Coin Cast will be open, Beachcomb will be open, Marathon will be open, Mr. Softy. They had the Mr. Softy brick and mortar on the boardwalk. I want to hit that before it closes for the season. Now, all that will be open. Plus, you got everything with the Columbus Day Festival, the 3 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There'll be something going on Monday, but most of us are going back to work. Not all of us got Columbus Day off anymore. So you come down. I'd come down for the 3 days like we used to do. I'll be here. We'll be at the Seaside Heights family. We have the apartment on the top, and we have the Airbnb rental on the bottom. I will be here. Maybe we broadcast. I don't know yet. But this whole setup I got in front of me is designed to be mobile. I got a little 4-foot table. I got the computer here. I got a little mixer. I got my phone that I ruined the case on. So I'm going to have to get a new case. I may have to go pick up my computer, and they do cell phone repair there. So hopefully I got a case for my phone, I have to say. I'll buy that when I'm over there, so I'll have a new case. But don't forget, Columbus Day Festival. They really do it right down here. Like I said before, food, and more food. You'll have all the Italian specialties. You'll have the cannolis. You'll have the Italian stuff. You'll also have your seaside staples, the cheesesteaks, the sausage and peppers, kettle corn, hot dogs on a stick. I'm thinking the ice cream. You name it, sausage and peppers. You'll have the singers. You'll have the dances. You'll have the retail operation. Jersey Lottery's down here. They'll be giving out all their swag. So you get a lot of free stuff there. You can buy souvenirs. That bath for the guys there all the time. You can get a new shower while you're down there. There's a lot going on. And like I said, the boardwalk is open. All the stands are open. All the bars are open. There's food trucks that are going to be there. When it comes to food, there'll be a lot of food. But if you want to stretch your bucks, and you're going to be there for 3 days, you can go to ShopRite on Fisher Boulevard. You got the Stop and Shop on 37. You got Acme over here on 35, right next to Seaside Heights there in Ortley Beach. You can, if you have an efficiency or you get an apartment, you can lay in a food order, so you can enjoy some of the menu there at the festival, and go home and have a lunch or breakfast or dinner at your rental, and you're saving money that way. Seaside Heights fits into anybody's budget. It's got to plan a little bit. All right, let's break for our last commercial break. You're listening to the Shore Show Radio, Seaside Heights edition. I'll be right back.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its 2 newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one path stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self Storage. Let us be your good friend.
All right, I'm back. Taking my throat lozenges here to smooth my throat. I think I was getting over a cold. Only had some sort of scratchy throat. All right, we're almost out of the show. Remember, you got an election coming up November the 4th. Make an educated, informed vote. Just don't go Republican, Democrat. Look at what the candidates are saying. You got your assembly seats up also. You got the governor's seats. And you got your local elections. Make an informed decision. Let's get the best people we can in Trenton. It'll do us all a big favor if we do that. All right, I'm out of the show. You be good. You be safe. I'll speak to you somewhere along the line. Take care.